Everybody, Bill Knutson here, New York Sports with an Attitude. Sorry I seem a little winded down here in Conyers, Georgia. Still feels like July on September 20th. It's like 10, 12 degrees above average. We should be in the low 80s, and we're actually in the low to mid 90s down here. It's still hot. Football started. The baseball playoffs are about to start. Ready for some cool weather, so Mother Nature, bring us some cold weather, some cooler football weather and stuff. Guys are playing football, major college football, NFL games, upper 90s, over 100 down on the field. Ridiculous, and a good way to pass out. So Mother Nature, bring us some cooler football weather. We're ready for it. Anyway, quick recap of the last, few days with the Mets. They're on a long 10-game road trip. Started with 3 in Boston, then 3 in Philadelphia. Unfortunately, we dropped both of those series. We lost 2 out of 3 in Boston, which is what I expected. I did not expect to win that series. And we lost 2 out of 3. Syndergaard pitched an excellent game in Boston for our only win, but we lost the other 2. And, of course, DeGrom, DeGrom lost, pitched his 27th straight game of 3 runs or fewer, a major league record. Of course, lost the game because no offense. So DeGrom was now 8-9 with an ERA of 1.78. Still not going to get the Cy Young. Even if he wins the last 2 games, 10-9, I still don't think he'll get it. But, how can we ever think DeGrom's going to win, because he never gets any run support. I really want to be wrong, and I'll be the first one to get on the show and say, you know what, I'm really glad I was wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be. So we lost 2 out of 3 in Boston. Then we moved on to Philadelphia, and we have dominated Philadelphia, especially in Philadelphia, the last few years, but we lost that series too. We dropped 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is barely hanging on the edge of the cliff for a playoff spot, which they're not going to get. They're here in Atlanta now. They're 5.5 games behind the Braves. They do play the Braves 7 of the last 10 games, though. But they basically have to win all 7 of them to have a chance, and that's not going to happen. So the Braves are going to clinch sometime, either at this 4-game series or a little later, because the Braves are coming to New York, and they've beaten up the Mets all year, and there's no reason to think they won't do it again. But the Braves are going to win the East. I've known that for numerous weeks now. So, that stinks, but some people down here will be happy to see that. But again, we lost 2 out of 3 in Boston, we lost 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia, and we start a 4-game series in Washington tonight, the last 4 road games of the season. Hopefully we'll go in and at least take 3 out of 4 from the hated Nationals before we come home for the last homestand. 3 with the Braves and 3 with the Marlins. And the Mets are 70-82 with 10 games to go. Same amount of wins as we had last year, but we still have 10 games left. So I'm assuming we won't lose the last 10 and end the season on a 12-game losing streak. I'm assuming that won't happen. So we should do slightly better than last year, but still nothing to be really happy about. Even though I do see some sort of life. Starting pitching, DeGrom is great, Syndergaard's great, and Wheeler had a great second half. So we got some life there. I don't trust Matz, Vargas, I don't trust any of them. The bullpen I don't trust. But we have starting 3 that a lot of teams would be envious of. And, we got guys like McNeil and Nimmo and things like that. And Rosario had a much better second half. So, maybe some life in the lineup. We don't know about Cespedes. He's going to miss at least half the season, maybe the whole thing, so we can't count on him. Going to have to make some moves. Hopefully they will. And hopefully we'll be able to compete in 2019. But like I said, if it weren't for June, we'd still have a slim shot at a wild card. But, unfortunately, like I said, June counts. Anyway, all right, so we've lost 4 out of 6 on this road trip. Hopefully we'll go and win the 4-game series in Washington before we come home for the final 6. All right, Jets and Giants this past weekend. Jets kind of came back down to earth after their tremendous victory in Detroit on that Monday night. Came home against the Dolphins. Not much offense. Darnold kind of came, and looked like a rookie. Made a few mistakes. And the Jets lost to the Dolphins 20-12. I had said I thought the Jets had a good chance to win, and they probably did, but didn't quite put it together. Like I said, Darnold wasn't nearly as good as he was week 1, but he's a rookie. So the Jets go down 20-12, and they're 1-1, and they're playing at Cleveland tonight to start week 3. I think the Browns are going to beat the Jets tonight. I think the Browns are going to get their first victory since December of 2016. The Browns, for the first time in quite a while, are actually a slight favorite, 3 points. But that's really because they're the home team. The home team basically gets 3 points. So on a neutral field, it would be like a pick'em. But I think the Browns are going to beat the Jets tonight. Sorry, Jets fans. I'm not saying I'm rooting for that, even though I kind of am rooting for that. Get Cleveland off the schneid. I'm not a Jets hater. I don't dislike the Jets like I do the Yankees. But, I wouldn't mind if the Browns won tonight. Sorry, Jets fans. The Giants, what can you say? This past Sunday night in Dallas, they got totally shut down. And I hate that. I hate the Dallas Cowboys with a passion. What can you do? We got shut down. Dallas's defense, they were blitzing. Our offensive line, I thought was going to be improved. It certainly wasn't this past Sunday night, because it seemed like Dallas had 65 guys coming after Manning. Manning, obviously he's not mobile. He had nowhere to go. He had no time to throw. And we just got shut down. Even Barkley in the backfield, he didn't get a lot of rushing yards. He had a lot of fancy moves, caught 14 passes, which is great if you have him in your fantasy league, which I wanted him as my first pick. Didn't get a chance at him. But he wasn't able to because, they were just blitzing the quarterback constantly, loading up the box to stop Barkley. And it was a good plan. As much as I hate to give them credit, you have to. Defense was excellent for the Cowboys. They did enough on offense. The Giants weren't horrible on defense, but, the Cowboys got their points, made their plays when they had to, and were really good on defense. And the Giants went down 20-13, but it wasn't even that close. It was 20-3 until more than halfway through the fourth quarter. Giants got a late touchdown and stuff. Made the score look closer than the game actually was and felt. It felt all night long like the Giants were down by like 25, all night. Even in the first half, when we were down like 10 points, it felt like 25. What can you do? And the Giants go to Houston. That's not going to be easy. I think there's a good chance the Giants will be 0-3. I don't think they're going to win in Houston. I think Houston's going to use the same kind of defense as the Giants did. They're going to send everybody at Manning because they know the offensive line, especially Eric Flowers on the right side of the line. He's like a matador, Ole, just letting guys go right on past. So I think the Giants are in for a rough week again. I think they're going to be 0-3. Again, I want to be wrong, but I don't think so. I think the Texans are going to get the Giants, and I think the Browns are going to get the Jets. So I think both of our New York teams, like I said, I know Buffalo's in New York, but to me they're like Canadian, because they're up there near Canada. So I think the Jets and Giants both go down. But I'll be watching tonight. I'll have the Mets game on, flipping back and forth between Mets and Jets. And we'll see what happens. Good luck to the New York teams, but I think it's going to be a bad weekend for them. All right, that's all I've got. Mets tonight in Washington, 7 o'clock. Throw them on. Jets tonight in Cleveland, 8:20, I believe, is kickoff. Throw them on too. Flip back and forth. Hopefully we'll get some wins for them. All right, subscribe to the show if you haven't. That'd be awesome. As usual, thanks very much for everybody that does listen and watch and stuff. I appreciate that. And we'll root for the Mets and the Jets tonight. Haven't looked at the Yankee schedule. I'm not sure if they're playing tonight or not, but they're in a battle with the A's for home field advantage for that one-game playoff. The Yankees are better than the A's, but one game, you never know. But if you have to play in that one game, you definitely want to play it at home. The Yankees don't want to go all the way across the country to play this one game. So, but the A's I thought would fade, but they haven't. They're hanging in there. We'll see if the Yankees can hold on. All right, that's it. Watch the Mets Jets tonight. You know, subscribe if you can, if you haven't, and you know, that's about it. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Enjoy the festivities tonight, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.